Good morning, shit biscuits. Alright, I'll be the first to admit, I don't really give a shit what age demographic watches my videos, cause quite frankly, it's not my responsibility to look after that shit. But to keep the communism of YouTube off my back, I will go ahead and say that if you are under the age of 18, I would not advise you watch these videos, cause these tend to get violent and have a lot of cussing. Again, I personally don't give a fuck. But at the same time, I'm not about to leave myself open for an attack. So, 18 or older, you're cool. Under that, I wouldn't recommend it.
Alright. I know what I said yesterday. And I know that I'm probably insane for doing this. But I can't have a Godzillathon without Godzilla Final Wars. I just can't. Alright? The same thing still applies. I still can't get into contact with Toho. I can't get their footage or anything like that. Once again, because of language barriers. But what I can do is this. So, y'all are basically going to have to be staring at 45 minutes to an hour of my thumbnail for the video. Guys, I'm sorry, but this is the only way I can have Godzilla Final Wars. And if you like the thumbnail, I mean, this video is going to be great for you, but this is really the only way it can be done. So, without further ado, I hope you guys enjoy the video, and if not, I get it. But this is the best I can do, so I'm sorry. Nevertheless, Final Wars is a great fucking movie. And it is amazing.
Ladies and gentlemen, I don't even need an intro or a specially recorded opening for this particular film. Ladies and gentlemen, you're about to witness the 50th anniversary of the King of the Monsters, Godzilla. Alright, Noah, here we are. Debatably one of the biggest moments in our Godzillathon so far. Today we are covering the 50th anniversary of the King of the Monsters, Godzilla Final Wars.
And
What?
I was gonna do a whole funny clip, but I forgot the theme song at the last moment.
Oh.
I was like,
okay.
Which theme song? Fuck.
Oh, it don't matter, bro. Freaking this movie's soundtrack is good enough as is.
Really?
Alrighty. So yeah, Noah, are you ready to cover the film?
Aye, Captain, for we are in for a fucking ride.
Oh yeah, no shit, dude. Strap in, because this is gonna be one of the craziest damn movies you've ever seen. So first off, with the background, this film, doesn't really have much like, Godzilla versus Megaguirus, it doesn't really have, like, a big overall, theme or message. Other than, once again, the fact that Godzilla's just kick-ass. And that's really the only theme you can get out of this movie, which I don't have a problem with. But yeah, unfortunately, or perhaps fortunately because it was a shit movie, Godzilla Tokyo SOS before this film actually did not perform that well at the box office. So Toho was basically on the ropes as to whether or not they should release a movie in 2004. But considering it was the King of the Monsters' 50th anniversary, they couldn't very well not do something for the King of the Monsters. And, as a matter of fact, this is the highest budgeted Godzilla movie there has been so far, until Legendary Pictures came around in 2014 and completely revitalized the franchise.
Yep.
And my god, can you tell that this movie was a absolute fan project. This movie, straight up, it's a love letter to the original franchise, and there's no way to hide that. Basically, this movie takes everything, all the kick-ass monster shit from the prior films and says, You know, we'll work on the humans last. And,
Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, bro, are you ready to cover this film?
Oh yeah.
Alright, go ahead and list off the cast, my man.
Alright. Dear fucking god, I think I'm gonna have a stroke while trying to get through half of these.
Oh.
Oh. Let's see, first and foremost, got Masahiro Matsuoka as Shinichi Ozaki, Rei Kikukawa as Miyuki Otanashi, Don Frey as Captain Doug's Gordon.
Easily one of the best human characters of all time in a Godzilla movie. I love Captain Gordon. He's awesome.
Got Maki Mizuno as Ana Otashi. Kazuki Kitamura as Alien Controller, aka X. I mean Zillion, my bad. You know you are still just fucking aliens.
Well, I mean, honestly, bro, it's forgivable in this case because, yeah, I mean, the aliens trying to take over the world plot for Godzilla movie did get a bit stale. But ultimately, seeing as how this is a fan project where they're basically trying to honor all of the prior Godzilla films, including the Showa series, it's forgivable, mainly because of, well, you know, aliens being a heavy focus towards the end of the Showa series.
Yeah, although I'm pretty sure they were mainly focusing on honoring the Showa era more than the Heisei era, unfortunately, but...
Yeah, but
they had, like,
details.
They had some callbacks to Heisei.
Yeah.
But they did mainly use more of the Showa casting in terms of monsters.
Yeah. Oh, and we'll definitely be talking about those, because I love the monsters in this movie, bro.
I'm guessing, though, all for one.
What?
Yeah, remember that turd face?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I gotta remember he's here.
Yep, that's a bonus clip.
At least he doesn't look as ugly.
Yeah. Alright, continue the cast.
Alright. We got Kane Kosugi as Kazama, Kumi Mizuno as Akiko Namikawa, Kenji Sahara as Dr. Jinguji, Asami Nagasawa as Ochiro Ochaku as the Shobujin, Shigeru Izimiya as Seimon Taguchi, Sakutsu Funaki as Commander Kumasaka, Masato Ibu as the Zillion General, Jin Kunimuro as Major Kumaro, Akira Takarada as Naotaro Daigo, Kenta Suga as Kenta... Very creative there.
Kenta Taguchi.
Kenta Suga. Kenta Suga as Kenta Taguchi.
Interesting. No, before you move on to the monsters, I will go ahead and say this. Yeah, this movie, when it comes to, human actors and cast, under normal circumstances, I would kind of agree with maybe the sentiment that this cast is a bit too big for this film. But considering it is over 2 hours long, I think it's fine to have that many human characters in this film, because mainly, that's more than enough time to give them all enough time in the spotlight.
Sure, I guess. Oh, now for the final members in our casting, even though it's still not all of them, but semantics, most of them were either just puppets or CGI, whatever. We have Toshihiro Ogaru as Anguirus and Ebra. We have Kazuhiro Yoshida as Aidan and Hedora. Naoko Kamino as Rodan and Vanilla. Motokuni Nakagawa as King Caesar and Monster X or later known as Heiser Ghidorah.
Indeed. And
Now.
I do want to mention one of those monsters that you listed in that little cast. My boy is back! Angus, my boy, you are back, and oh my god, he looks amazing!
At least he didn't get killed this time.
Hey, don't, shut up.
Okay. Right, senior points. We still got the main title of the fucking movie. We have Tsutomu Kitagawa as none other than the big G himself, Godzilla. Had to make
I
the
love
call
my
out.
life. Yeah.
I had to put in the name because we both know that even in this movie, they messed up with the names.
Yeah.
English stuff.
Oh, as if it wasn't obvious enough, because, yeah, Anguirus doesn't even really get called Anguirus in this movie, unfortunately. He's accidentally called Anguinus.
Sure, it's the Anguinus, sir!
Jesus Christ. Okay. Alright, Noah. Without further ado, let's take a look at the 50th anniversary of Godzilla.
Currently,
Oh, also, before the rundown, we also have the director. His name is Ryuhei Kitamura. And he was actually brought into this film by a Toho executive. I forgot the name who did it, but he was brought on to bring essentially a new insight into the Godzilla franchise. Hopefully to in the hopes that they would actually appeal to more of a wider audience than just Godzilla fans. And unfortunately, that didn't really happen, because despite the clear quality of this film, it also didn't really perform that well at the box office. However, that does not discourage anybody, because this film is still great. And now, on to the rundown. Once again, yet another reboot after Godzilla's first attack in 1954, which apparently this version of Godzilla survived being disintegrated into bone and just regenerated and came back to life. Yeah, so after his attack in 1954, he spent decades going on repeated rampages across Japan. Other giant monsters started resurfacing all over the world. So, as a collective, mankind decided that they need to stop fighting with each other, and they have to come together to combat the kaiju before the world is basically overrun and destroyed by monsters. And the reason they have faith in their ability to do this is because of a new breed of human. A mutant superhuman class that has basically been recruited into the M organization, I believe it's called. And yeah, their mission is to eradicate all monsters across the world, including, but not limited to, the most dangerous and powerful of them all, the king of the monsters, Godzilla. And they do actually end up locking Godzilla away in an icy prison. Very convenient for this movie's plot, by the way. And, yeah, they lock away Godzilla in an icy prison, and then humankind has a time of unprecedented peace where monsters are relatively easy to deal with, and yeah, Godzilla is no longer around to destroy all the shit he can. However, after a time, suddenly something goes wrong. And giant monsters, all almost as a collective, start attacking cities across the world in unison in what seems to be a coordinated attack. And after the armies of the world cannot defeat these monsters, as they are the strongest in the world, yeah, they are suddenly teleported away by aliens who claim to be here to save the world from the kaiju, And for a while, it seems like they're telling the truth. However, a team of, I would call them detectives, but let's be honest, they're basically just kids playing cosplay. Yeah. A team of, like a ragtag team of random individuals, including Ozaki, who is one of those mutants that I mentioned earlier. They band together and they start investigating, pretty much everything about, the aliens, and soon find out that not only are the aliens lying, but they have also infiltrated the entirety of the world's governments and, most important, facets of, military and all that shit. And so, yeah, now they have to go to the one man that they can actually trust, an incarcerated agent by the name of Douglas Gordon, free him from prison, and use his expertise in military training to combat the alien threat and take them down once and for all. This turns out to be a very grave oversight as, well, backed into a corner, the Exilian X kills his commander and takes over as the leader of his people and unleashes all of the monsters across the world to destroy humanity. Now left with only one hope, our heroes must travel to the place where they buried Godzilla and trapped him forever, and release the king of the monsters so that he may put the world's kaiju in their place. Good God, just saying that makes me go out of breath. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the brief rundown of Godzilla Final Wars. No, I don't know what to say after that. Do you want to cover the monster action or the human action first?
Let's cover the humans first, and then we get to the more exciting part.
Alright, so the human action of this film. Goddamn insane, bro. Okay, oh my god. First of all, as we already mentioned, there are a bunch of mutant humans running around. And, yeah. Apparently, these guys are just somehow skilled enough and strong enough to be able to have kung fu battles with giant kaiju and kill them. Yeah, the scene where they're basically all fighting Ebera and take him down as a unit. First of all, it's massively entertaining, and goddamn does it suits the ideas of an anime so well, dude. And there is a ton of anime references in this freaking movie too, and most of them are with the monsters, but you'll see. And yeah, dude, even though, like, most of these movies are basically, monster action combined with a little bit of human action and human scenes talking, no! 90% of this movie is all action and fighting scenes, and it's a damn joy to behold. I don't really know how else to describe the human action and the fighting scenes other than basically karate movies just on crack. I mean,
Yeah,
there's literally a scene where we get two mutant humans, Ozaki and Kazama, who are freaking fighting on a highway, on motorcycles and, like, dodging each other as they're shooting at each other and having this epic motorcycle duel. And honestly, that's the last thing you would expect to see in a Godzilla movie, but it's absolutely great to watch, too. That's not to say that everything about this film's human action is perfect. There are some majorly stupid-looking moments. But the majority of the human action is all very well shot with excellent fight choreography, and it's just a joy to behold, bro. However, I will say that some of the actors don't really seem as though they're giving their A-game effort here. But other than that, I really don't see a problem with the humans. No, what about you?
Pretty entertaining to watch.
What?
Oh, that's pretty entertaining to watch, honestly, but like whenever I go and watch Final Wars, I just sit back and wait till the man with the mustache appears.
Yes, Captain Gordon. Man, he is a surprisingly good actor. Who played him again? Hold on.
He is
Don Fry.
Fry.
Don Fry is an MMA fighter, and he is a surprisingly fantastic actor. He's a joy to behold, and he is just amazing in this film. And yeah, that's an understatement, honestly, because Don Fry's performance here is one of the highlights of the film.
He's just fucking badass.
Yeah, that's no shit. You know what? This little clip here sums up his character perfectly.
You'd hit a woman. Yeah.
God damn it! Oh my god. You would hit a woman?
I would.
Okay. Okay. I know I shouldn't be saying that because we're probably gonna have every single Democrat who watches this movie who watches this review flagging us. But honestly, bro, I just can't get enough of it.
Tim Gordon created the true definition of a bitch slap.
Yeah, open palm, slap across the mouth. But that's, I'm gonna be honest, Captain Gordon's performance here pales in comparison to the main villain of this movie. Ladies and gentlemen, X. Yes, his name is X, and he is a goddamn psychopath. But he is an amazingly well-written psychopath. Now, a lot of people are gonna have criticisms about, the aliens being stupid in this movie because
the main reason the aliens are here and trying to take over the world and all that shit is because they need the mitochondria that's contained within human body cells to survive. And a lot of people criticize this movie because, well, if you need the mitochondria in human body cells to survive, well, first of all, you don't need to enslave all of humanity to get it, and second of all, you can harvest it without killing anybody or even really hurting them.
So yeah, this film does catch a bit of heat for the aliens being a little stupid, but honestly, I don't think that's the reason why X does this. X, throughout the film, he is established as this sadistic, psychopathic murderer who just wants to kill and thinks of murder as, like, fun. And he wants to take the remainder of the humans, as slaves and use them as cattle. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and say this, his character is perfectly suited for that, and I don't think that he chose to attack and destroy the Earth because he had no other choice. I think he chose to do it because he thinks it's fun. And yeah, it's a joy to behold. Especially the way he summons Gigan. Noah? Play the clip!
I got a long
he's
one.
more comical than anything else, and I love it. This man is easily, like, one of the best villains I've ever seen. And granted, he does take inspiration from other villains across more popular titles, but I still love it. It's amazing, and I wish that we would have gotten more of this guy in the Godzilla franchise, but honestly, I think the fact that we haven't seen him anywhere but this movie yet just adds all the more value to this film. And speaking of X's making Gigan rise, Noah, are you ready to talk about the giant fucking monsters?
A giant fucking I was gonna say bitches, but
Ninjutsu Master monsters. Alright, Noah. Here we are, man. I mean, there's so much to say about the monster action in this film. It's insane. Bro, why that, like, they heavily focused on action in this movie, obviously, but why the hell is this the only version of Godzilla that officially knows any sort of martial arts?
let's just say he was mentally training in that ice. He had a whole anime training arc in that ice that we don't know about.
Yeah, the evil version of Goku in the ice. Forget, yeah. Let's go ahead and address the elephant in the room. Yes. Once again, this is a reboot, and yes, just like Godzilla versus Megaguirus, and just like GMK, this Godzilla is literally the exact same Godzilla that appeared in the 1954 film. And yeah, he's a lot bigger and he's a lot stronger than he was in that movie, but I'm just gonna go ahead and assume that's because, you know, I'm just gonna go ahead and assume that was because of the plot. But, you know, whatever.
I'm pretty sure that it's just like in terms of timeline-wise, he's the same Godzilla that would appear in 1954, not the same one that appeared in the movie in 1954.
Yes, the Final Wars Godzilla is not only the same one that appeared in 1954, but he is a goddamn joy to behold in this movie. We're gonna talk about him more in just a minute, but first of all, Noah, let's just list off the monsters here. Yeah, they bring back a whole smorgasbord of Godzilla's classic monsters for him to do battle with. First of all, we got Kumonga, we got Kamacuras, we have King Caesar, we have my boy, Anguirus, back for more. Unfortunately, he does get his ass kicked, but you know what? And then...
At least he lived.
Yeah. And then, yeah, we also have Rodan in this movie, and we also have... Good God, Noah, why? Why is he here? Why? At least he looks better than the fucking CGI lizard.
He looked more appealing than the upright standing Zilla.
Yeah.
Yes, this time. Like, no, this is not the same kaiju from 1998. No, this is literally Zilla. It's trademarked Zilla.
Yep.
Upright
yeah, let's go ahead and talk about that for a minute. Yeah, after the film in 1998, Toho, for the purposes of this film, literally bought the rights to the 1998 creature, completely rebranded it, and made it stronger than it's ever been, just to murder it on screen. You know, I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. That was one of the best parts of the movie for me. They made it absolutely comical when Godzilla killed this thing, because not only is it basically a dude in a suit versus a CGI model, but during the whole fight, which is less than a minute long, mind you, the whole time there's Jeopardy music in the background playing, showing just how much people hated the 98 creature, and I love it, because goddamn, dude, is that justice of the highest form. Play the goddamn clip. And may this bastard rest in torment. Yeah, I'm not even gonna lie. I loved that scene, and it was one of the best decisions Toho made for this movie. But now, okay, I'm gonna make an executive decision here. We are not going to talk about every single updated monster design, because then we're gonna be here for 5 hours. So what we're gonna do is we're basically gonna go ahead and take a look at the main 4 kaiju and go in depth about their designs, and then both of us will hand select another kaiju that we want to talk about. in our own little, joyous part of this, film. For those of you who have watched this Godzillathon so far, you probably know who I'm gonna talk about. And yeah, the main 4 kaiju that we have to discuss are obviously Godzilla, Mothra, Monster X / Kaiser Ghidorah, and Gigan. Good God, bro. Okay, let's talk about Gigan. Gigan! I can't do that. The first time screwed up my throat enough as is. But yeah, bro. Let's talk about Gigan first. First of all, the writing for Gigan's story in this film is actually not bad. Obviously it doesn't take up a large chunk of the movie because it is basically one of the smallest parts of the film. But still, nonetheless, Gigan's story in this movie is a little interesting. First of all, X releases him from his prison, and automatically Gigan starts leading the charge with all the other monsters, since he is the second strongest of the Exilian's forces in this film. And yeah, he basically marches forth and leads the charge to destroy human civilization in this film. And then Godzilla's released. And the poor bastard gets murked in under a minute.
He stood longer than Zilla. He
did stand longer than Zilla, though that's not saying much. Yeah. Gigan actually did make Godzilla struggle a little bit, but ultimately in the end, Godzilla did decapitate Gigan.
One could say that Godzilla said, "Off with your fucking head!"
Yeah. Literally, because it took one blast to decapitate Gigan. And then, later on in the movie, turns out that X loved Gigan so much and appreciated his talents so much that he literally rebuilt Gigan, upgraded with cybernetic enhancements, including goddamn chainsaw hands.
And he just really, all he really did was just made him more deadlier than he already was.
Yeah. Although he did not upgrade his armor, surprisingly.
A bit, yeah. It's hard to notice at times, but it's there.
Yeah.
The main thing you notice, though, is the fucking chainsaw hands.
Yeah. And yeah, actually, let's talk about Gigan's design for a minute here, bro. First of all, everyone wanted it back in the first movie. Gigan has his eye laser, which not only is a laser, but it can separate and hit his opponents on all sides of their body, which is terrifyingly efficient and goddamn intimidating. But yeah, Gigan's design is basically just an upgraded version of his first appearance. I will say I do prefer the Showa era Gigan more. But, Gigan is still amazing, and I love watching him in the movie. He's so much fun to look at as he's in the middle of his fights. And is it just me, or did they drop the cyborg angle and just make Gigan mostly machine?
I can see that. I can see what you mean by that, but it's Gigan.
Yeah. He is still a cyborg, but you can't really tell, because they don't, the only way you can tell is when, they basically explain it in the film. But, that's fine. Ultimately, that's not a problem. And yeah, dude, Gigan's design in this film is amazing. And honestly, I feel as though Gigan in this movie should have had a little more screen time. But he definitely makes the screen time he has count. That being said, though, let's talk about the monster that takes him down the second time, Mothra. Okay, so not much to say here. Mothra is basically the exact same as she was in the prior film, and y'all already know what I think about that Mothra design. I think it's the best Mothra that there is so far. And I just love her design in this film. And I love that they not only introduce a new power for her, but in the few minutes, literally in like her whole story arc lasts less than 10 minutes. And in those 10 minutes, she has a fully not fleshed out, but she has a fully, entertaining story. Where basically she attacks him, she's attacked by Gigan and takes him on for a brief second before Gigan cuts a piece of her wing off and, defeats her. But then she shows up to assist Godzilla when Gigan and Monster X are ganging up on him. And then Mothra, separates Gigan and takes him to fight away from Godzilla and Monster X. And in that brief time span, she has enough character development to adapt to Gigan's fighting style and murk this dude. Mother of God, how badass is Mothra in this movie?
I mean, she literally went out in a blaze of glory.
She didn't even die, bro.
He took out Gigan in a blaze of glory.
Yeah, Gigan basically defeated himself in a way. I hate to make the comparison because it's been done so much. Gigan basically pulls a Frieza.
Oh.
You poor bastard. Gigan is fantastic, but goddamn was that a little goofy.
Gigan just can't seem to keep his head.
Yep. And yeah, bro. That's basically Mothra and Gigan in this film. Obviously I love Mothra in this movie. She's fantastic. But, now we get on to the main two, of which we're gonna discuss Godzilla first. Godzilla. Mother of God, is this man amazing in this movie. Like I said before, this is the only version of Godzilla in the history of the franchise so far to officially know martial arts, and honestly, I love that about this guy. And just watching him dominate in this film is so goddamn fun. Godzilla goes on a rampage, basically beating the shit out of all the other monsters. My god, this is just, oh my god, I don't know what else to say. Godzilla is a unit in this movie. He doesn't have any new, powers introduced, but he definitely has a massive amount of strength. And just seeing this man's endurance, I mean, obviously, I hate to say it because he is my favorite design, but, obviously, Godzilla Final Wars, there's no questioning it. He is stronger than Kiryu Goji. And I think Final Wars is honestly the strongest Godzilla in the Millennium series. Not the strongest Godzilla, period, mind you, but definitely in the Millennium series, he is the strongest Godzilla.
In this era, definitely the strongest.
Yeah.
The fucker's fucking unit.
Yeah, he's I don't know how else to describe it, man. I mean, I compared Destroyer to a slasher villain in his movie, but I feel like that title goes better with Final Wars Goji, because literally every single monster he fights, with the exception of Anguirus, Rodan, and King Caesar, they die by his hands. And most of these fights, literally take a minute for Godzilla to, defeat his foes. Of which the shortest, as we've already said, is, Godzilla against the Fraud. And
yeah.
Godzilla's design in this movie, good God, is it a perfect way to show just how menacing he is. Final Wars, design for Godzilla is, I mean, it's a lot less, not a lot less bulky. Godzilla Final Wars still does have, his, muscular build and shit like that, but Godzilla's suit in this film is slender and skinny compared to all the other Godzillas, and honestly, I think that works because of the martial arts moves he pulls off in this film, and it just seems so right to watch him on screen doing this shit. And then we get to Monster X.
He has technically 3 heads. I wonder what that could mean.
Yeah. Yeah,
God.
okay, so, first of all, here's the thing. The aliens in this film create, like, this sort of, lie that there's a planet heading towards Earth that's gonna destroy it called Gorath. And I mean, it is true, but it's also not true at the same time. What was that?
Yeah, but the name Gorath is a reference of its own to another old movie as well, so.
Yeah. Which movie was it again?
Pretty sure it was literally called Gorath.
Oh.
Gorath.
Okay.
I don't remember the exact name. It had Gorath in it. That's what I know.
Ah, okay.
Unless it was in Space Amoeba, which I think had, like, Kamabas, the squid, and other guy. I don't know, it's been a while. I don't remember all the old movies.
Well, it doesn't matter. But yeah, they create this lie that Gorath is on its way to Earth, but what it really is just a meteorite. A damn massive meteorite, mind you, that, is on its way to Earth and contains a monster by the name of Monster X. And Monster X, I mean, his design is cool, but we've seen cooler. Monster X basically is like a monster that basically is designed to look like a skeleton. And he just looks weird. He looks
like a Power Rangers villain. I'm saying it here and now.
Yep. He definitely does that. Yeah, dude, freaking Monster X, he's just weird. He has, he has multiple different powers. I'm pretty sure, in the concept art, he was supposed to have telekinesis, but they didn't really use that in the film. And out of his eyes, he can shoot gravity beams. Wonder what that means. And yeah, he can fly, and he can also basically match Godzilla's strength and skill in this movie in terms of power and, martial arts tactics. However, Monster X clearly is just a setup monster to another kaiju that, in my opinion, is way better than this guy. Ladies and gentlemen, Monster X begins to transform. His body distorts, grows, and starts to change. Kaiser King Ghidorah. Noah, what do you gotta say about Kaiser King Ghidorah?
I thought that the normal, regular old gold Ghidorah was bad enough. This guy takes it to a whole nother level.
Yeah, no shit, dude. Me personally, I'm not gonna say whether or not, I think that this is the strongest Ghidorah, because, in my opinion, there is a Ghidorah that is stronger, but, you know, I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and mince words about it, and in fact, that Ghidorah comes in a later film. But yeah, Kaiser Ghidorah is amazing in this movie. First of all, he looks like the goddamn devil, alright? He looks he looks menacing, evil, and just outright goddamn, he just looks outright goddamn demonic. Is essentially, he's essentially a 3-headed dragon, obviously, but he also looks as though he has some elements of, like the griffin and shit like that, because he has 4 legs, and he walks around on all 4s with these wings splayed out to the side of his body, and he just seems, like I said in the GMK movie about a lot of the monsters there, he seems like something you would see out of, like, the Greek god films. We haven't even talked about his powers, and we're impressed by him. Kaiser Ghidorah's powers. Obviously, he can fly. He has those wings for a reason, even though he never uses it. He has the ability to pick up and absorb directly the powers of other kaiju and absorb their energy. And his gravity beams are deadlier than they've ever been in the past before. Kaiser Ghidorah can literally use his gravity beams, but the gravity beams live up to their name. As, he can basically use them to throw his opponents around, pick them up, and drop them. And, he can literally basically use these things as a sort of telekinesis. Just a very painful to use, very painful to his opponent form of telekinesis. And here's the thing. Kaiser Ghidorah actually shows a lot of personality when he's fighting Godzilla, because he genuinely seems as though he's, laughing at Godzilla as he's beating him into the ground. And goddamn do I love it, because this man is just awesome to watch on screen, and he is a joy to behold. And as the 50th anniversary of Godzilla, I really don't think they could have ended it in any better of a way.
Honestly, I don't really have much to say. He's just overall menacing kaiju. And also for the fact that he puts the term gravity beams to well use.
Yeah. I don't really know what else to say about this man. He did make a few comic appearances, but that was short-lived, unfortunately. However, now, Noah, as I promised before, we do have to select 2 other kaiju we want to talk about. Which monster do you want to talk about other than these boys?
I'll take your option real quickly, which I believe I know what it's gonna be, and it's gonna say Anguirus!
Wait, are you gonna talk about Anguirus?
Fuck yeah, I like Anguirus.
Oh, okay. Well, hold on. Alright, bro. So, with your pick on choosing Anguirus to talk about, we get the best of both worlds. Because not only do we get to talk about my boy, but I also get to have my pick of another kaiju to talk about. So, go ahead, bro. Take it away.
Well then, as we last saw Anguirus in 1974 against Mechagodzilla, and we would have possibly been able to get him in GMK, in a way we thankfully did not, because we were spared from seeing him suffer against Godzilla.
Yeah.
This time in Final Wars, he is back. Back with a brand new spanking look, as I will say I do quite like.
Indeed.
And he is treated relatively well, except for the fact he still unfortunately gets his ass kicked. But
well,
he does obtain a new ability.
To be fair, Noah, yes, Anguirus does lose the fight to Godzilla, but at the same time, it's Godzilla, and in this movie, it's Godzilla's 50th anniversary, so they can't exactly have him lose.
Yeah.
And also, real quick, let's mention, Anguirus's new ability that has appeared in video games so far, but has not actually been in a film. His ability to roll into a spiky ball.
Roly-poly, roly-poly.
Indeed. Dude, I really don't know what else to say. Anguirus is awesome in this film, man, and I love my boy. He's a joy to behold in the film, and honestly, I can't get enough of Anguirus. So just seeing him here in the movie and knowing that he survived the events of this film, that's enough for me. And honestly, when he's attacking Shanghai, Anguirus, I'm not gonna outright say that I like his design better than the Showa era series. Frankly, I'm kind of on the fence about that. But I will say that his upgraded look and his upgraded moveset are awesome to watch on screen, even if they don't have that much screen time. Anguirus is the boy. Alright, he's always gonna be my second favorite kaiju in the Godzilla franchise. Obviously, Godzilla doesn't count because it's fucking Godzilla. Yeah, bro. Anguirus, I absolutely adore this man, and I hope that we see him get the respect he deserves in later Godzilla films. But for now, this'll do. And now, we talk about a monster that I want to go ahead and talk about. And since you already picked Anguirus, I'm gonna go ahead and talk about a certain man that, well, ladies and gentlemen, we have the King of the Skies, Rodan. Noah, how much do you like Rodan in this movie?
I don't like him as much as I do in other films that he appeared in, but he's still relatively fun to watch, especially in a certain New Yorkish time and scene.
Yeah, no, definitely Zilla can't go back to New York. Rodan would kick his ass in 2 seconds. No, bro, but honestly, Rodan is amazing in this film. And not only does he, unfortunately, he doesn't actually have any new powers here, but he does have an upgraded look and an upgraded, design. Rodan, I'm gonna be completely transparent here, bro. Rodan, I think, is one of the better designed monsters in this film. Basically right behind Anguirus, Godzilla, and Mothra. He's the 4th best in the film for me, and I love him. And honestly, bro, I'm gonna be real honest. Honestly, bro, I'm gonna be real transparent with this as well. I really enjoy the scenes that Rodan was in, not just because of the way he fights and how he looks when he's fighting, but he has some damn iconic scenes in this, like when he's roaring in front of the freaking moon on top of what I'm assuming is going to be a building next to the Empire State Building. And yeah, bro,
Yeah.
Rodan just looks like a goddamn legend in this movie, and I do still prefer the Heisei version of Rodan, but honestly, Rodan he doesn't get enough love in this movie. But yeah, bro, with that out of the way, who exactly would you recommend watch this movie?
Honestly, I'd say probably all ages, because this movie is just, except for very old people, unless they're hardcore Godzilla fans. Which
Yeah.
I can see happening. And can see that happening. But honestly, any age would probably have a fun time watching this. It's just an entire roller coaster of monster action.
Yeah, a roller coaster with no tracks, it just fucking goes.
So yeah, I'll honestly say any age would be fine with watching this.
Yeah.
And plus, its effects still does hold up. CGI might be a little off at times, but it holds up.
Yeah. But, I mean, honestly, bro, it is a Millennium Era film. And we definitely want more practical effects than CGI, especially because of this. This is the last time we are, so far, that we are actually going to get to see the art of tokusatsu used in the Godzilla franchise. Straight up.
Well,
After this movie, there is no more suits.
Well, not just in franchise, but in official movie form, yes, it'll be the last time we see it. We both know that the past 2 years we've gotten that sort of action, and
well, yeah, but I mean, I'm talking about like official products that are like full-fledged films. Make no mistake, if you still want to see some kick-ass kaiju fighting action with suits and shit, Toho's got you guys covered. Because the last 2 years we've gotten Godzilla vs. Hedorah, where they use the Final Wars suits for this film, and they go ahead and add have them face off against each other in a short film. And then there's also there's also the movie coming out this year. God damn, it just seems to be a Gigan year, and honestly, I don't really have a problem with that because Gigan's awesome. But yeah, Gigan is also going to be getting the same treatment where he's facing off against Godzilla in a short film setting.
Yep.
So yeah,
Also,
I mean, monster action in terms of tokusatsu isn't dead. It's just not used as much as I would prefer. However, now we get to my recommendations for who watched this movie. I'm heavily gonna recommend action movie fans. Alright? If you're an action movie fan, you are going to love this movie because there is, like we said, 90% of this movie is nothing but just fighting and freaking like shootouts and monster fights. And honestly, it's just fun to watch. It's so damn cool to see this shit unfold on screen. And honestly, I mean, I don't really have a problem with this, but I feel like some of the action takes away from the writing aspect of this film because even though the writing is decent for this movie, it still gets action butted in and is not exactly that good. And not to mention the freaking fact that the scenes with Milla, as he's called in this movie, goddamn, I hate this little shit. Yeah, they feel like an entirely different movie edited in, for the sake of filling out the runtime. But other than that, I really have no problems with this film, and obviously, hardcore Godzilla fans are going to adore this movie. The best way to describe this film is an all-out celebration for Godzilla's 50th anniversary, complete with candies, chocolates, and fucking cake. And bro, I can't think of basically we could end the Godzillathon right now. We could. But we're not pieces of shit, and we're not gonna do that. And yeah, guys, that's basically the last movie in the, original Godzilla franchise. The original series, and I adore it. What?
I'd like to say something before we end off this episode.
Yeah.
So, I want to go back to Godzilla's design in this movie.
Uh-huh.
The one that we see in the movie is, I'm pretty sure, the second version, because they had another idea in terms of his design.
Oh?
It is a lot crazier than what it appeared in the movie.
What the actual... What? What the... That was... I thought that was just fan art.
No, it's not. It was literally a Godzilla Final Wars design that was basically concept.
Shit. I mean, okay. I've seen that design before. I just didn't know that was like official concept for this film. Shit.
Yeah.
I might use that as a thumbnail. No. But yeah, bro. Yeah, dude. What did you think of the original Godzilla, Toho franchise?
I honestly enjoyed a good most part of it. There were some movies where I just would feel like, yada yada. But for the most part, I enjoyed what Toho has created for basically 50 years straight.
Yeah, that's no shit, bro. And this movie is a perfect way to exemplify exactly what the last 50 years of Godzilla has meant to the Godzilla fans as a whole. Because this is, make no mistake, this was not exactly intended to be the last Godzilla movie, but it was very much intended to be a celebration of sorts where Toho would go all out and spend the full amount of the budget and, spend the full budget making the film, or at least most of it, because, as we said before, it's the 50th anniversary of Godzilla, and they just needed to make a lasting impression, of which I feel they accomplished, and honestly, Final Wars may have its haters, but I personally think it's a fantastic film, and anyone who is a Godzilla fan, just like with GMK, just like with Godzilla vs. Destroya, If you're a Godzilla fan, you owe it to yourself to pick this movie up and give it a watch. It's amazing, and you will not be disappointed. With that being said, join us tomorrow as we have a recap of the Millennium Era Godzilla series. And after that, we move on to the modern era Godzilla films in the MonsterVerse and Reiwa era. See you tomorrow, ladies and gents.
Hello.
Hello again, ladies and gentlemen. Just a quick reminder before the end of the video, I would like to ask y'all to like, comment, and subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. And if you'd be so inclined, I would not mind it if y'all would share this video with anyone you deem fit. But with that being said, that's everything we have for today, and have a good one.